The air smells of burnt coffee and regret. I'm wiping down the counter at Brewed Awakening, the only coffee shop in this sleepy Ohio town, when the bell above the door jingles. My heart lurches before I even look up. It's her, Claire. My dad's best friend. The woman I'm not supposed to want. She strides in, all confidence and worn leather, her firefighter's jacket slung over one shoulder. At 38, Claire's got this weathered beauty, sun-bleached blonde hair tied back, eyes like a storm over Lake Erie. She's been Dad's rock since Mom left when I was 10, always around for barbecues, poker nights, or to fix the busted porch step. But to me, she's a wildfire I can't outrun. "Morning, Lynn," she says, voice low like she's afraid to wake the world. My name sounds different when she says it, soft like a secret. I'm 24, Vietnamese American, stuck in this town after college, pouring coffee to pay off loans while I figure out who I'm supposed to be. But when Claire's around, I know exactly who I am. A mess of want and shame. "Usual?" I ask, my hands shaky as I grab a cup. "Black coffee, no sugar. Like her." She nods, leaning on the counter. Her callous fingers brush mine when I hand her the cup, and it's like a spark in dry grass. My breath catches loud in the quiet shop. She notices, her eyes flick to mine, sharp, searching. Then she looks away, jaw tight. "How's your dad?" she asks like she's trying to build a wall between us. "Same old," I say, forcing a smile. "Dad's a mechanic, hands always stained with grease, heart always stuck on Mom. He doesn't know I'm gay. Doesn't know I've been in love with Claire since I was 18. When I caught her laughing at one of Dad's dumb jokes, her head thrown back, unguarded. That was the moment I knew I was screwed. The shop's empty, save for the hum of the espresso machine and the distant rumble of a truck outside. I want to say something, anything, to keep her here. But the words stick in my throat like over-roasted beans. She sips her coffee, eyes on the window, and I wonder if she feels it too. The pull. The ache. "Lynn," she starts, voice rough like she's been up all night fighting fires. "You ever think about leaving this place?" Her question hits like a punch. She's not asking about college or jobs. She's asking about us. About the thing we've never said out loud. I swallow hard. "Yeah. But where would I go?" My voice cracks and I hate it. I'm not a kid anymore, but around her I feel like one small exposed. She doesn't answer. Just looks at me, her eyes heavy with something I can't name. Then her radio crackles. A voice calling her back to the station. "Duty. Always duty." She tosses a crumpled 5 on the counter, her fingers lingering a second too long. "See you around, kid," she says, and the nickname stings like a slap. As the door swings shut, I'm left with the bitter taste of what I didn't say. I'm in love with my dad's best friend, and it's tearing me apart. That night, I'm at Dad's place. A small house cluttered with tools and faded photos of Mom. Claire's there, like always, sprawled on the couch with a beer, laughing at Dad's story about a busted carburetor. I'm in the kitchen chopping onions for chili, the knife slipping in my sweaty hands. Every laugh from the living room pulls me tighter, like a rope around my chest. "Lynn, you okay in there?" Claire calls and I flinch. Her voice is too close, too warm. I mumble something about onion fumes and keep chopping, but Dad's already on his feet, peering at me. "You're quiet tonight," he says, frowning. "Something up?" I shake my head, but my eyes flick to Claire. She's watching me, her beer halfway to her lips, frozen. Does she know? Does she see the way I'm unraveling? Dinner's a blur of small talk and clinking spoons. Claire's sitting across from me, her knee brushing mine under the table. It's an accident, she shifts away fast, but my skin burns where we touched. I'm drowning in the sound of her laugh, the way her fingers wrap around her spoon, the faint scar on her knuckles from a fire she won't talk about. After dinner, Dad's in the garage tinkering with some engine part. Claire's on the porch staring at the stars. I step outside, the screen door creaking, and the night air smells of cut grass and her cedarwood cologne. My heart's hammering so loud I'm sure she can hear it. Couldn't sleep? She asks without turning. Something like that, I say, leaning on the railing beside her. The silence stretches, heavy with everything we're not saying. I want to tell her I dream about her, that I've written her name in my journal 100 times, then burned the pages, that I'm terrified of what this means. Claire, I start, my voice barely a whisper. She turns, her face half lit by the porch light, and for a second I think she's going to say it first. But then her radio crackles again, and the moment shatters. Gotta go, she says, already moving. Fire on Maple Street. She's halfway down the steps when she pauses, looking back. Be careful, Lynn. I don't know if she means the chili or my heart. The next morning, I'm back at the coffee shop, bleary-eyed and raw. The bell jingles and I look up expecting Claire. But it's just Mr. Jenkins wanting his usual decaf. My chest aches like I've been holding my breath for hours. I keep replaying last night, the way her eyes softened, the way she said my name. Was it real, or am I just seeing what I want? By noon the shop's buzzing and I'm drowning in orders. Then I hear its sirens. Not unusual in this town, but they're close. Too close. My phone buzzes with a text from Dad. Fire at the old mill. Claire's there. My stomach drops. The mill's a death trap, rotted beams, chemicals left to rot. I tell my boss I'm sick and bolt, my sneakers pounding the pavement as I run toward the smoke rising over the trees. I don't know what I'm doing, only that I need to see her. Need to know she's okay. When I get there, the mill's a furnace, flames licking the sky. Fire trucks are everywhere. Hoses spraying arcs of water that catch the sunlight like broken glass. I spot Claire, soot-streaked and shouting orders, her face fierce. She's alive. But then a beam collapses and the crowd gasps. She disappears into the smoke. I scream her name, my voice lost in the roar of the fire. Everything slows, the crackle of flames, the shouts of her crew, the pounding of my own heart. I'm running toward the blaze, not thinking, just moving, when someone grabs me. It's Dad. Lynn, what the hell are you doing? He yells, his face pale. I need to. I can't finish. My eyes are locked on the flames, searching for her. Dad's grip tightens and I realize he's shaking. He doesn't know why I'm here, but he knows something's wrong. Minutes drag like hours. Then she emerges, coughing, dragging a rookie firefighter with her. She's alive. I sag against Dad, tears burning my eyes. Claire sees me and for a split second her mask slips, relief, fear, something deeper. Then she's back to work, barking orders, and I'm just the kid who poured her coffee. But as I stand there, smoke stinging my lungs, I know I can't keep this secret anymore. I'm in love with Claire, and it's going to break us all. The mill fire leaves a scar on the town and on me. The next day, the air still smells of ash, clinging to my clothes as I wipe down tables at Brood Awakening. My hands tremble, not from the cold but from the image of Claire vanishing into that inferno. I keep hearing the crack of that beam, the way my heart stopped until she emerged. I didn't sleep last night. Every time I closed my eyes I saw her face, grit-streaked, fearless, untouchable. The bell jingles and my head snaps up. It's her. Claire. She's in civilian clothes today, a flannel shirt rolled up to her elbows, her hair loose and still smelling faintly of smoke. Her eyes find mine, and there's a weight in them like she's carrying the fire inside her. You okay? She asks, sliding into a stool at the counter. Her voice is rough, like she's been shouting for hours. Maybe she has. Am I okay? I laugh, sharp and brittle. You almost died yesterday, Claire. My voice breaks on her name and I hate how small I sound. I busy myself with the coffee machine, grinding beans to drown out the thud of my pulse. She leans forward, elbows on the counter, and I catch the faint scent of her cedarwood cologne mixed with soot. I'm fine, Lynn. It's the job. But her eyes don't match her words. They're heavy, haunted, like she's seen too much. I pour her coffee, black, no sugar, and slide it across the counter. Our fingers brush again, and it's like a live wire. I pull back, heart racing, and knock over a stack of cups. They clatter to the floor, loud in the quiet shop. Shit, I mutter, crouching to pick them up. Claire's beside me in a second, helping, her hands steady where mine shake. You're a mess today, she says, but there's no teasing in her tone. It's soft, almost tender, and it cuts me deeper than any fire could. I stand, clutching a cracked cup, and meet her gaze. Why do you do it? I ask, the words spilling out before I can stop them. Run into burning buildings? Risk everything. She straightens, her jaw tight. Because someone has to. Her voice is low, but there's a tremor in it, like she's holding something back. And because I'm good at it. I want to scream that it's not worth it. That she's worth more than some heroic sacrifice. But I don't. Instead I say, I was scared yesterday. For you. It's the closest I've ever come to admitting the truth. Her eyes soften, and for a moment the world narrows to just us. Her calloused hand an inch from mine, the hum of the fridge, the morning light slanting through the window. Then her radio crackles and she steps back, the spell broken. Gotta go, she says, tossing a few bills on the counter. Take care, Len. She's gone before I can respond, the door swinging shut with a soft thud. I'm left gripping the counter, my chest tight, like I'm the one who can't breathe. That night I'm at home, my tiny apartment above the hardware store, walls thin enough to hear the neighbor's TV. I'm curled on the couch, scrolling through old photos on my phone. There's one from last summer. Me, Dad, and Claire at the lake, her arms slung around my shoulders, her smile wide and unguarded. I stare at it until my eyes burn, then toss the phone aside. I can't keep doing this, loving her in silence, choking on every unsaid word. But telling her means risking everything. Dad. Her. The fragile balance of our small-town life. I'm Vietnamese American in a place where different gets you stares at the grocery store. Coming out to Dad would be hard enough. Telling him I'm in love with his best friend? That's a bomb I don't know how to defuse. My phone buzzes. A text from Claire. You free tomorrow? Need help with something. My heart leaps then sinks. It's probably nothing, fixing a shelf, moving boxes. She's always been practical like that. But I type back, sure. What time? Her reply is instant. 9 a.m. My place. Bring coffee. Claire's house is a small bungalow on the edge of town, surrounded by pines that whisper in the morning breeze. I show up with 2 coffees, my hands sweaty despite the chill. She opens the door in a faded t-shirt and jeans, her hair still damp from a shower. The sight of her, casual, unguarded, makes my throat tight. Thanks for coming, she says, taking the coffee. Her fingers linger on the cup, and I wonder if she feels the same jolt I do. She leads me inside, where the air smells of wood polish and something faintly floral. Need help cleaning out the garage, she explains. Old junk from my ex, figured you'd be better company than me alone with my thoughts. Her ex. She doesn't talk about her much. A woman named Rachel, gone years ago. I don't know the details, only that it broke Claire in a way she doesn't show. I nod, following her to the garage, where boxes are stacked against the walls, coated in dust. We work in silence at first, sorting through old books, clothes, a cracked guitar. Every so often our hands brush, and I catch her watching me, her expression unreadable. The garage smells of mildew and memories, and the quiet is heavy, like the air before a storm. Lynn, she says finally, setting down a box. Her voice is low, careful. Yesterday at the shop. You said you were scared. She pauses, rubbing the back of her neck. Why? My heart stops. This is it, the edge of the cliff. I could lie, laugh it off, keep pretending. But I'm so tired of hiding. Because I care about you. I say, my voice barely above a whisper. More than I should. Her eyes widen just for a second, then narrow like she's bracing for a hit. Lynn, she sighs, a sound heavy with regret. You're Dan's kid. You're. Don't. I cut her off, my voice sharper than I mean. Don't call me a kid. I'm not a kid, Claire. I'm 24 and I know what I feel. The words spill out raw and reckless. I've been in love with you for years. And it's killing me. The garage goes silent, save for the distant chirp of a bird outside. Claire's face is a storm shock fear. Something softer I can't name. She steps closer then stops, her hands clenched at her sides. You can't say that, she whispers. You don't know what you're asking. I know exactly what I'm asking. I say, tears burning my eyes. I'm asking for you. For a moment she just stares at me, her breath uneven. Then she turns away, running a hand through her hair. This can't happen, Lynn. Your dad. He'd never, she trails off, but the words hang between us. He'd never forgive us. He'd never understand. I want to argue, to fight, but the weight of her words crushes me. I grab my jacket and head for the door, my vision blurring. I'm sorry, I mumble, not sure who I'm apologizing to. Lynn, wait. She calls, but I'm already gone, the slam of the door echoing in my ears. The next week is a blur of gray skies and bitter coffee. I avoid Claire's texts, her calls, the way her truck lingers outside the shop like she's waiting for me to break first. My apartment feels smaller, the walls closing in with every unsaid word. I keep replaying that moment in her garage, my confession, her rejection, the way her eyes held something she wouldn't let herself say. It's a knife in my chest, twisting every time I think of her. At Brood Awakening, I'm a ghost, pouring coffee on autopilot, my smile brittle as old glass. The regulars notice. Mr. Jenkins asks if I'm sick. Mrs. Carter says I look peaky. I shrug them off, but inside I'm unraveling. I told Claire I loved her and she pushed me away. But her eyes, they didn't push. They begged. Dad calls me for dinner on Friday, his voice gruff but warm. Claire's coming, he adds, casual, like it's nothing. My stomach lurches. I want to say no, to hide in my apartment with a bottle of cheap wine. But Dad's voice has that edge. He's worried about me. So I go. The house smells of pot roast and motor oil, Dad's usual mix. Claire's already there, sitting at the kitchen table, her fingers tapping a nervous rhythm on her beer bottle. She looks up when I walk in, and her eyes hit me like a punch, guilty, soft, searching. I look away, focusing on the peeling linoleum, the hum of the fridge, anything but her. Dinner's torture. Dad's talking about a new client at the garage, oblivious to the tension crackling between Claire and me. Her knee brushes mine under the table again, and this time she doesn't pull away. My pulse races and I grip my fork so hard my knuckles whiten. Is she doing this on purpose? Or is she just as lost as I am? Lynn, you're quiet again, Dad says, frowning. What's going on with you? Nothing. I lie, my voice tight. Claire's watching me, her expression unreadable, but her foot nudges mine under the table. A small, deliberate touch. My breath catches and I shove my chair back, mumbling something about needing air. Outside, the night is crisp, the stars sharp against the black sky. I lean against the porch railing, my hands shaking, the air smelling of pine and distant smoke. I hear the screen door creak, and I know it's her before she speaks. Lynn, Claire says, her voice low, like she's afraid to break the quiet. She steps closer, close enough that I can smell her cedarwood cologne, feel the heat of her presence. We need to talk. I laugh, sharp and hollow. You made it pretty clear there's nothing to talk about. She flinches, and it's the first crack I've seen in her armor. You think this is easy for me? She says, her voice rough. You think I don't? She stops, running a hand through her hair, her breath a shaky exhale. You're Dan's daughter. You're half my age. This isn't some movie, Lynn. This is real, and it's messy. Then why are you here? I snap, turning to face her. Her eyes are stormy, her jaw tight, and I want to shake her, kiss her, scream. Why do you keep looking at me like that if you don't feel it too? She steps closer, so close I can see the flecks of gray in her eyes, the faint scar on her cheek. Because I do feel it, she whispers, and the words hit like a thunderclap. And it scares the hell out of me. My heart stops. She's so close now, her breath warm against my cheek. I could kiss her. I want to. But the weight of Dad's house, his trust, her friendship with him. It's a chain around my neck. What do we do? I ask, my voice breaking. She doesn't answer. Instead, she reaches out, her fingers brushing my cheek, soft as a sigh. It's the first time she's touched me like this, deliberate, tender, and it sets my skin on fire. But then the porch light flicks on, and Dad's voice cuts through the night. Everything okay out here? Claire steps back, her hand dropping like I've burned her. Yeah, Dan. She calls, her voice steady now like nothing happened. Just checking on her. I want to scream that it's not okay, that nothing's okay, but I just nod and follow them back inside, my heart a bruised thing in my chest. The next morning, I'm at the shop early, scrubbing counters like I can erase the memory of her touch. The bell jingles and I brace myself, but it's not Claire. It's Sarah, my coworker, who's been eyeing me like she knows something's up. You look like hell, she says, tying on her apron. Sarah's 19, nosy, and the only openly queer person I know in this town. She's got a girlfriend in Columbus, and she's never shy about it. I envy her nerve. Thanks, I mutter, focusing on a stubborn stain. She leans on the counter, smirking. Spill. Who's got you all twisted up? I hesitate. Sarah's safe, but saying it out loud feels like crossing a line I can't uncross. It's complicated, I say finally. She raises an eyebrow. Complicated like, I'm in love with someone I shouldn't be complicated? My head snaps up and she laughs. Knew it. You've got that look. So who is she? I don't answer, but my silence is enough. Sarah's eyes soften. Whoever she is, Lynn, you deserve to be happy. Don't let this town or anyone make you feel like you don't. Her words stick with me all day like a song I can't shake. I deserve to be happy. But what does that mean when the person I love is tied to my dad, to this town, to a life that doesn't have room for us? That night, I'm restless, pacing my apartment. I pull out my journal, the one I stopped writing in after I burned those pages about Claire. I start writing again, the words spilling out, her laugh, her hands, the way she makes me feel alive and terrified all at once. I write until my hand cramps, until the truth is staring back at me in black ink. I can't let her go. I grab my phone and text her before I can overthink it. Meet me at the lake. Midnight. Please. She doesn't reply for an hour, and I'm sure she won't show. But then my phone buzzes. Okay. The lake is still, reflecting the moon like a cracked mirror. I'm sitting on the dock, my sneakers dangling over the water, when I hear her truck. My heart's in my throat as she walks toward me, her silhouette sharp against the night. She sits beside me, close but not touching, and the silence is loud with everything we haven't said. I'm sorry, she says finally, her voice barely above the lapping waves. For pushing you away. For making you think I don't care. I turn to her, my chest tight. Then why do you keep running? Because I'm scared, she admits, her voice raw. Of hurting you. Of losing Dan. Of what this means. She looks at me, her eyes glinting in the moonlight. But I'm more scared of losing you. My breath catches, and before I can stop myself, I lean in. Her lips meet mine, soft and urgent, tasting of coffee and smoke. It's everything I've wanted, and it's not enough. Because even as we kiss, I know this is just the beginning of the fight. The kiss lingers on my lips like a bruise, tender and impossible to ignore. Claire's truck rumbles away from the lake, leaving me alone on the dock, the water lapping softly against the wood. The air smells of damp earth and her cologne, and my heart's a tangled mess. Equal parts elation and dread. She kissed me. She wanted me. But the shadow of Dad, of this town, of her life as his best friend, looms larger than the moon above. I don't sleep that night. My apartment feels too small, the walls echoing with the memory of her hands on my face, her breath against mine. By morning I'm a wreck, my eyes gritty as I drag myself to brood awakening. The shop's quiet, the hum of the coffee machine a low drone against the chatter in my head. I keep checking my phone, hoping for a text from Claire, but it stays silent. Did last night mean as much to her as it did to me? Or was it a moment of weakness she's already regretting? The bell jingles and my heart leaps, but it's just Sarah. her ponytail swinging as she ties on her apron. You look worse than yesterday, she says, eyeing me. Lover girl trouble? I flush, scrubbing a counter that's already clean. Something like that. She leans closer, lowering her voice. You don't have to tell me, Lynn, but you can't keep bottling it up. Whoever she is, she's got you bad. Her words are kind, but they sting. I want to tell her it's Claire, who's 38 and a firefighter, who's been in my life since I was a kid, who's everything I shouldn't want. But the words stick, heavy as wet coffee grounds. The day drags, each customer a blur of orders and forced smiles. By closing, I'm ready to crawl into bed and forget the world, but my phone buzzes as I lock up. It's Claire. Can we talk? My place. 8 p.m. My stomach flips. I type OK before I can overthink it, my hands shaking as I pocket my phone. The walk to her house feels like a march to battle, the evening air sharp with the scent of burning leaves. Her bungalow glows warmly against the dusk, and when she opens the door, her face is a mix of relief and something heavier. Guilt, maybe. Thanks for coming, she says, stepping aside. The living room smells of wood smoke and lavender. A candle flickering on the coffee table. She's in a faded hoodie, her hair loose, and she looks younger, softer, like the Claire I fell for years ago. We sit on the couch, a careful distance between us. The silence is thick, broken only by the crackle of the candle. Last night, she starts, her voice low. I shouldn't have, I wanted to, but... She stops, rubbing her hands on her jeans. This is wrong, Lynn. You know it is. Her words hit like a slap. Wrong. I echo, my voice sharp. Kissing me was wrong? Or feeling something was wrong? I lean forward, my hands clenched. Because it didn't feel wrong to me, Claire. It felt like the only honest thing I've done in years. Her eyes meet mine, stormy and raw. You're Dan's daughter, she says, like it's a mantra. He's my best friend. He trusts me. And yours, she trails off, her gaze dropping to her hands. Young. I finish, bitter. Is that it? You think I don't know what I want? It's not about what you want, she snaps, her voice rising. It's about what this would do. To you. To him. To us. She stands, pacing, her boots heavy on the hardwood. I've seen what happens when things like this go wrong. My ex, Rachel, she was married. I thought we could make it work, but it tore her family apart. I can't do that to Dan. To you. Her words cut deep, exposing a piece of her I've never seen. Rachel. The name hangs between us, heavy with history. I'm not Rachel, I say quietly. And you're not the same person you were then. She stops pacing, her back to me, shoulders tense. You don't get it, Lynn. This isn't just about us. This town, your dad, they'll eat you alive if they find out. You think I don't want this? She turns, her eyes blazing. I've wanted you since you came back from college, all grown up and fearless. But I can't be the one who ruins your life. Her confession steals my breath. She's wanted me. For years. The realization is a spark in my chest, but it's drowned by the weight of her fear. You're not ruining my life, I say, standing, closing the distance between us. Hiding is. Pretending I don't love you is. She flinches like my words are a physical blow. For a moment we're frozen, the air crackling with everything we've held back. Then she steps closer, her hand cupping my face, her thumb brushing my cheek. You make this so damn hard. She whispers, her voice breaking. I lean into her touch, my heart pounding. Then stop fighting it, I say, and before she can pull away I kiss her. It's desperate, hungry, like we're stealing time. Her hands slide to my waist, pulling me closer, and for a moment the world disappears. Dad, the town, the consequences. It's just us, her lips soft and urgent, her breath a shaky sigh against mine. But then she pulls back, her forehead resting against mine, her eyes closed. We can't, she says, her voice barely a whisper. Not like this. I want to argue, to hold her until she gives in, but the pain in her voice stops me. She's not just scared for herself, she's scared for me. For what this could cost. I step back, my throat tight. What do we do then? I ask, my voice small. She doesn't answer, just looks at me, her eyes heavy with regret. The candle flickers, casting shadows across her face, and I realize this might be the closest we ever get. The next day I'm a mess at work, spilling coffee, mixing up orders. Sarah corners me during a lull, her arms crossed. Okay, Lynn, enough. You're falling apart. Talk to me. I hesitate, then spill it all. Claire, the kiss, the impossible weight of it. Sarah listens, her face softening. You love her, she says, not a question. And she loves you. So what's stopping you? Everything, I say, my voice cracking. My dad. Her job. This town. Sarah shakes her head. Screw this town. And your dad, he loves you. He'll come around. But you can't live your life for other people, Lynn. You have to fight for this. Her words echo in my head as I walk home. The evening air sharp with the promise of fall. I want to fight, but I don't know how. Claire's right. This is messy and it could break us all. But the thought of losing her, of going back to silence and secrets, is worse. That night, I'm at Dad's for dinner again, and Claire's there like always. But this time she won't meet my eyes. She's all business, talking to Dad about the fire station, her voice flat. I'm quiet, picking at my food, my chest tight with the weight of her distance. After dinner, I'm washing dishes when Dad steps into the kitchen, his face serious. Lynn, what's going on with you and Claire? He asks, and my heart stops. You've been weird around each other. Did something happen? I freeze, the sponge slipping from my hand. He knows. Or he suspects. And I don't know how to lie to him anymore. Dad's question hangs in the air like smoke, thick and choking. I'm standing at the sink, water dripping from my hands, the sponge forgotten on the counter. His eyes are on me, steady but searching, and I feel like a kid caught stealing. The kitchen smells of dish soap and the faint tang of his aftershave, grounding me in this moment I can't escape. Nothing happened, I say, but my voice wavers, thin as the cracked plate I'm holding. I turn back to the sink, scrubbing harder than necessary, but Dad doesn't move. Lynn, he says softer now, you've been off for weeks. And Claire, she's not herself either. I'm not blind. His words are gentle, but they cut deep. He's always been good at seeing through me, even when I wish he wouldn't. I glance toward the living room where Claire's still sitting, her beer bottle sweating on the coffee table. She's staring at the TV, but I know she's listening. Her shoulders are tense, like she's braced for a fight. I want to run to her, to beg her to help me carry this, but I'm alone in this moment. It's complicated, I say finally, my voice barely above a whisper. Dad steps closer, his work boots heavy on the linoleum, and I brace myself for the question I dread. Is it about a girl? He asks, and my heart stops. He's never asked me that before, never even hinted he suspected I might be gay. I nod slow, my throat tight. His face softens, but there's a flicker of something else, confusion, maybe fear. You know you can tell me anything, right? I want to believe him. I want to spill everything, Claire, the kiss, the way loving her feels like breathing and drowning at the same time. But the words won't come. I know, I say, and it's not a lie, but it's not the truth either. He nods, clapping a hand on my shoulder, his calloused palm warm. Just be careful, okay? Love's messy. He heads back to the living room, and I'm left with the dishes and the weight of what I didn't say. The next morning, I'm at Brood Awakening before dawn, the shop dark except for the glow of the coffee machine. I'm trying to lose myself in the routine, grind beans, wipe counters, check stock, but my mind's stuck on Claire. On Dad. On the truth I'm too scared to face. The bell jingles and I flinch, half expecting Claire, but it's just the delivery guy with a crate of milk. Sarah shows up for her shift, her usual smirk replaced with concern. You talked to her yet? She asks, tying her apron. I shake my head, pouring steamed milk into a latte. She's avoiding me. And Dad, he knows something's up. Sarah leans on the counter, her voice low. You gotta tell him, Lynn. Rip the Band-Aid off. If he loves you, he'll deal. I want to believe her, but this isn't just about me being gay. It's about Claire, his best friend, the woman who's been family for years. If I tell him, it's not just my secret I'm exposing. It's hers. The day passes in a haze of customers and caffeine, but by closing I'm restless. I can't keep dodging this. I text Claire we need to talk. For real. Meet me at the shop. 7 p.m. She doesn't reply, but at 7:05 the bell jingles and there she is, her firefighter's jacket slung over one shoulder, her face tired but resolute. The shop's empty, the air thick with the scent of coffee and cleaning spray. I lock the door behind her, my hands shaking. Claire, I start, but she cuts me off. I can't do this, Lynn, she says, her voice rough. I thought I could, but I can't. Dan's my family. You're his kid. This. She gestures between us, her hand trembling. It's a betrayal. Her words hit like a punch, but I'm done backing down. A betrayal? I snap, stepping closer. Loving someone isn't a betrayal. Hiding it is. I'm tired of pretending, Claire. Aren't you? She flinches, her eyes dark with pain. You think I want to hide? You think I don't lie awake at night, hating myself for wanting you? Her voice cracks, and it's the most vulnerable I've ever seen her. But I've seen what this does. Rachel's family, they never forgave her. I can't lose Dan. And I can't lose you. Then don't. I say, my voice breaking. Fight for this. For us. I'm crying now, tears hot on my cheeks, but I don't care. I step closer, close enough to feel the heat of her, the faint tremor in her breath. I love you, Claire. And I know you love me. For a moment she's silent, her eyes locked on mine. Then she pulls me into her arms, her lips crashing against mine, desperate and fierce. The kiss is a storm, raw, electric, tasting of salt and coffee. Her hands are in my hair, on my back, pulling me closer, like she's afraid I'll disappear. I cling to her, my heart pounding, the world fading to nothing but her. But then she pulls back, her breath ragged, her eyes wet. We can't keep doing this, she says, her voice barely a whisper. Not until we tell him. I nod, my chest tight. She's right, but the thought of facing Dad terrifies me. Together. I ask, my voice small. She takes my hand, her fingers warm and steady. Together. We decide to tell Dad the next night at his house. The hours leading up to it are torture, my stomach churning as I imagine his reaction. Will he yell? Cry? Shut us out? I'm at the shop all day, barely functioning, spilling coffee and snapping at Sarah when she tries to joke. By evening I'm a wreck, my hands sweaty as I walk to Dad's. Claire's already there, sitting on the porch, her face pale. She stands when she sees me, her hand brushing mine, a small grounding touch. You ready? She asks. No, I admit, but I follow her inside. Dad's in the kitchen stirring chili, the air thick with the scent of tomatoes and cumin. He looks up, smiling, but it fades when he sees our faces. What's going on? He asks, setting down the spoon. I glance at Claire and she nods, her jaw tight. I take a deep breath, my heart hammering. Dad, I need to tell you something. I'm gay. The words come out steady, stronger than I feel. His eyes widen, but he doesn't speak, so I keep going. And I'm in love with Claire. The silence is deafening, broken only by the faint sizzle of the chili on the stove. Dad's face is unreadable, his hands gripping the counter. Claire steps forward, her voice low but firm. Dan, I'm sorry. I never meant for this to happen. But I love her too. He looks between us, his eyes hard, then soft, then hard again. You're telling me, he says slowly, that my best friend and my daughter. He trails off, running a hand over his face. Jesus Christ. Dad, please, I say, my voice breaking. I know it's a lot, but... A lot, he snaps, his voice rising. Lynn, she's twice your age. She's my best friend. How long has this been going on? It hasn't, Claire says quickly. Not really. We've been fighting it. For you. He laughs, a harsh, bitter sound. For me? You think this is for me? He turns away, his shoulders shaking, and I realize he's not just angry. He's hurt. I step toward him, tears streaming down my face. Dad, I love you. I don't want to lose you. But I can't keep pretending I don't feel this. He doesn't look at me, just stares at the stove, his breath heavy. I need time, he says finally, his voice low. Get out. Both of you. The words are a knife, sharp and final. Claire takes my hand and we leave, the screen door slamming behind us. Outside, the night is cold and I'm shaking, but her hand in mine is the only thing keeping me upright. The night air bites at my skin as Claire and I stand on Dad's porch, her hand still gripping mine. His words, get out. Both of you. Echo in my head, each syllable a fresh wound. The street is quiet, save for the distant bark of a dog and the rustle of leaves skittering across the pavement. Claire's truck is parked under a streetlight, its faded red paint glowing faintly, but neither of us moves toward it. My legs feel like they might give out, and my chest is tight like I'm breathing through a straw. Lynn, Claire says, her voice soft but steady. She turns to face me, her eyes catching the light, full of worry and something fiercer, resolve. We're gonna be okay. Are we? I ask, my voice cracking. Tears burn my eyes and I swipe at them angrily. He hates us, Claire. My dad hates us. She pulls me into her arms, her jacket rough against my cheek, her scent, cedarwood and smoke, grounding me. He doesn't hate you, she murmurs, her breath warm against my hair. He's hurt. He needs time to process. But he loves you. He'll come around. I want to believe her, but the memory of Dad's face, shocked, betrayed, cuts too deep. I pull back, searching her eyes. What if he doesn't? What if this is it? She cups my face, her thumbs brushing away my tears. Then we'll figure it out. Together. Her voice is firm, but there's a tremor in it, like she's trying to convince herself too. She leans in, kissing me softly, and for a moment the world steadies. Just her lips, her warmth, the quiet strength of her. But the moment doesn't last. Headlights sweep across the street, and we pull apart as a neighbor's car rolls by. The driver's curious glance a reminder of where we are. This town sees everything, judges everything. I can already hear the whispers at the grocery store, the church, the fire station. Claire's a hero here, but loving me could make her an outcast. Let's go, she says, nodding toward her truck. You shouldn't be alone tonight. We end up at her bungalow, the air inside warm and heavy with the scent of pine and candle wax. She pours us both a glass of whiskey, her hand steady despite the storm in her eyes. We sit on the couch, the silence thick, the weight of Dad's reaction pressing down on us. I should have seen this coming, Claire says finally, staring into her glass. I knew telling him would hurt him, but I didn't think. She trails off, taking a sip, her jaw tight. It's not your fault, I say, but my voice sounds hollow. I take a sip of whiskey, the burn sharp in my throat. I'm the one who pushed for this. I couldn't keep lying. She looks at me, her eyes soft but pained. You shouldn't have to lie about who you are, Lynn. Nobody should. There's a weight to her words, like she's carrying her own ghosts. Rachel, maybe. Or years of hiding parts of herself in a town that loves her but doesn't really know her. I set my glass down, my hands trembling. What do we do now? Just wait. Hope he forgives us. She leans back, rubbing her face. I don't know. But I know I'm not letting you go. Not after all this. Her voice is fierce, and when she looks at me I see it. The love she's been fighting laid bare. It's enough to make my heart ache, but it doesn't erase the fear. We talk until the whiskey's gone, our voices low, the candle flickering out. She tells me about Rachel. How they met at the fire station. How their affair tore Rachel's family apart. How Claire carried the guilt for years. I tell her about college, about realizing I was gay but never acting on it. Too scared of what it meant in a place like this. It's the most honest we've ever been, and it feels like a lifeline. When the clock strikes midnight, she pulls me close, her arms strong around me. Stay, she whispers, and I do, falling asleep on her couch, her heartbeat steady against my back. The next morning I wake to the smell of coffee and the sound of Claire moving in the kitchen. She's in a t-shirt and jeans, her hair messy, and she hands me a mug with a small smile. You snore. she says, teasing, but her eyes are warm. I laugh, the sound shaky but real. Liar. For a moment it's easy, like we're just two people in love, not two people who just blew up my dad's world. But reality creeps back in, cold and heavy. I head to the shop, my head foggy from whiskey and no sleep. Sarah's there, and one look at my face tells her everything. You told him, she says, not a question. I nod, pouring coffee with unsteady hands. He kicked us out. Her eyes widen, but she recovers fast. Give him time. My parents were the same when I came out. Freaked out, said some shit they didn't mean. They got over it. I want to believe her, but Dad's not like her parents. He's stubborn, proud, and Claire's not just some girl I met. She's his best friend. The betrayal runs deeper. The day drags, each customer a reminder of the town's watchful eyes. By closing, I'm ready to collapse, but my phone buzzes with a text from Dad. Come over. We need to talk. My heart lurches. I text Claire, and she meets me at Dad's, her face pale but determined. We walk up the porch steps together, her hand brushing mine. A small, steadying touch. Dad's in the living room, sitting in his old recliner, a beer in his hand. He looks tired, older than I've ever seen him. Sit, he says, his voice gruff. We do, on the couch, the space between us charged with tension. I've been thinking. He starts, his eyes on the floor. About what you said. About you too. He looks up, his gaze moving between us. I don't get it. I don't know if I ever will. But you're my daughter, Len. And Claire, your family. His voice cracks and my throat tightens. I don't want to lose either of you. I'm crying before I realize it, tears hot on my cheeks. Dad, I'm so sorry. I say, my voice breaking. I didn't want to hurt you. He shakes his head. You didn't. Not really. It's just a lot. He looks at Claire, his eyes hard but softening. You love her? For real? Claire nods, her voice steady. I do, Dan. More than anything. He sighs, a long heavy sound. Then I need time. But I'm not gonna stand in your way. He stands, walking to the kitchen, and I hear the clink of a bottle, the creak of the floor. It's not forgiveness, not yet, but it's a start. Claire takes my hand, her fingers warm and sure. We'll figure it out, she whispers, and for the first time I believe her. Dad's words linger like the scent of his chili, heavy and unresolved. He didn't kick us out again, didn't yell, but his I need time feels like a door left ajar. Not open, not closed. Claire and I walk back to her truck. The night air sharp with the bite of early fall. Her hand finds mine, her callous fingers grounding me, but my chest is still tight, like I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. You okay? She asks, her voice low as we climb into the truck. The cab smells of leather and faintly of smoke, a reminder of her job, her life outside of us. I nod, but it's a lie. I thought he'd hate me. Or you. My voice cracks and I stare out the window at the quiet streets. The houses glowing with the soft light of families who don't have secrets like ours. Claire starts the engine, but she doesn't drive. He doesn't hate us, Len. He's hurt, yeah, but he loves you. That's not gonna change. She reaches over, her hand resting on my knee, warm and steady. And I'm not going anywhere. Her words are a lifeline, but they don't erase the fear. This town, with its prying eyes and whispered gossip, feels like a trap closing around us. I lean my head against the window, the glass cool against my skin, and wonder if love is worth this kind of pain. The next week is a tightrope walk. At Brood Awakening, I'm jumpy, expecting every customer to know, to judge. Sarah's the only one I trust, and she keeps my secret, slipping me extra coffee and knowing glances. Claire stops by the shop once, her eyes soft but cautious, like she's afraid to break what little we've built. We don't kiss, don't touch, but her presence is enough to make my heart race. Dad doesn't call, doesn't text, and the silence is worse than his anger. I want to go to him to explain, but Claire says to give him space. He's processing, she says one night as we sit on her couch, a pizza box open between us. Dan's stubborn, but he's fair. He'll come around. I want to believe her, but the doubt gnaws at me. What if he doesn't? What if this is the cost of loving her? A fractured family, a town that whispers behind our backs. Work keeps me busy, but not busy enough to drown out the noise in my head. One afternoon as I'm steaming milk, Sarah pulls me aside. There's a pride event in Columbus next weekend, she says, her eyes bright. Me and Jess are going. You and Claire should come. I hesitate. Columbus is only an hour away, but it feels like another world. A place where we could hold hands, kiss, be us without fear. I'll talk to her, I say, but the idea sparks something in me, a flicker of hope. That night, I'm at Claire's, curled against her on the couch, the TV droning in the background. I tell her about the Pride event, my voice tentative. It could be good. For us. To be somewhere we don't have to hide. She's quiet for a moment, her fingers tracing circles on my arm. You sure you're ready for that? She asks, her voice low. It's one thing to be out with Sarah and her crowd. It's another to be out in the open, where anyone could see. Her caution stings, but I get it. She's older, lived through more judgment than I have. I'm ready, I say, meeting her eyes. I'm tired of hiding, Claire. I want to be with you. Really be with you. She smiles, small but real, and kisses me slow and soft. Okay, she murmurs against my lips. Let's do it. The Pride event is a riot of color and sound. Rainbow flags flapping in the breeze. Music pulsing through the streets. People laughing, dancing, unafraid. Claire and I drive down with Sarah and Jess, the four of us crammed into Claire's truck, the air filled with nervous excitement. Claire's in a black tank top, her hair loose, and she looks younger, lighter, like the weight of our town is slipping off her shoulders. We wander the festival hand in hand, and for the first time I feel free. No one stares, no one whispers. Sarah and Jess disappear into the crowd, leaving us to explore. We share a snow cone, the cherry syrup staining our lips, and Claire laughs when I smear some on her cheek. It's the most normal we've ever been, and it's everything. But then I see him, Dad. He's standing by a food truck, a baseball cap pulled low, his hands in his pockets. My heart stops. Claire follows my gaze, her grip tightening on my hand. Lynn, she starts, but I'm already moving, pulling her with me. Dad. My voice is small, drowned by the music, but he hears me. He turns, his face a mix of surprise and something else, pain maybe. He looks at our joined hands, then at Claire, and I brace myself for the worst. I didn't know you'd be here, he says, his voice gruff. He's not angry, but he's not happy either. Sarah mentioned it, and I wanted to see. See what? I ask, my throat tight. He sighs, rubbing the back of his neck. You. Happy. His eyes flick to Claire, then back to me. I'm trying, Len. It's not easy, but I'm trying. Tears prick my eyes and I step forward, hugging him. He stiffens, then wraps his arms around me. His embrace warm and familiar. I love you, Dad, I whisper. I love you too, he says, his voice rough. He pulls back, looking at Claire. You take care of her, okay? Claire nods, her eyes shining. Always. He doesn't stay, just gives me a nod and disappears into the crowd. It's not forgiveness, not fully, but it's a step. Claire pulls me close, her lips brushing my forehead. Told you he'd come around, she whispers, and I laugh, shaky but real. Back in town, things aren't perfect. Dad's still distant, our conversations careful, like we're navigating a minefield. But he doesn't shut me out, and that's enough for now. Claire and I are cautious, holding hands in her truck, stealing kisses in her garage, but we're not hiding anymore. The town notices, of course. I catch the looks at the grocery store, the whispers at the diner. But Sarah's right, I deserve to be happy. We both do. One night, as we're lying in Claire's bed, the moonlight spilling through the window, she traces the lines of my palm. You ever think about leaving? She asks, her voice soft. I turn to her, my heart full. Not anymore, I say. Not if you're here. She smiles, pulling me close, and for the first time I believe we can make this work. It won't be easy, love never is, but it's ours and that's enough. The weeks after the Pride event settle into a fragile new normal. Dad's trying, I can see it. Small gestures like inviting Claire and me for dinner, his voice gruff but warm. It's not the easy camaraderie of before, but it's something, a bridge we're building one careful step at a time. The town though is less forgiving. At Brood Awakening I catch the sidelong glances, the hushed conversations that stop when I turn. Mrs. Carter, who used to tip me extra, now leaves exact change. It stings, but Claire's hand in mine makes it bearable. Mornings are my favorite now. I wake up in Claire's bungalow, her arm heavy across my waist, the air smelling of coffee and her cedarwood cologne. Today, a Sunday, the light filters through the blinds, painting stripes across her sleeping face. She's 38 but looks softer in sleep. The lines of her job fires rescues long nights smoothed away. I trace her jaw with my fingertip, and she stirs, her eyes fluttering open. "Morning," she murmurs, her voice rough with sleep. She pulls me close, her lips brushing my forehead, and I melt into her, the world outside fading to a hum. "You're gonna make me late for work," I tease, but I don't move. I could stay here forever, tangled in her sheets, her warmth. "Let Sarah open," she says, her hand sliding down my back. "You deserve a day off." Her smile is lazy, but her eyes are serious, like she's memorizing me. I know that look. She's still scared, still waiting for this to fall apart. I kiss her, slow and deliberate, tasting coffee and the faint salt of her skin. "We're okay," I whisper, more for her than me. "We're gonna be okay." At the shop, Sarah's in full gossip mode, telling me about a new barista in Columbus who flirted with her girlfriend. "Just shut her down, obviously," she says, grinning as she froths milk. "But it was kinda cute." I laugh, the sound easier now. Sarah's been my rock, her unapologetic queerness a reminder that I can survive this town. "You're trouble," I say, nudging her. Says the girl dating her dad's best friend. She shoots back and I flush, but it's not shame anymore. It's pride maybe, or something close. The bell jingles and I tense, half expecting Claire, but it's Dad. He's in his grease-stained jacket, his cap pulled low, and my heart skips. He hasn't been to the shop since I came out. "Hey," he says, his voice gruff. "Got a minute?" I nod, handing the counter to Sarah. We step outside, the air crisp with the scent of fallen leaves. He leans against the wall, hands in his pockets, and I brace myself, unsure what's coming. "I've been talking to Claire," he starts, his eyes on the ground. "She told me everything. How long you felt this way, how hard it's been." He looks up, his face softer than I expect. "I was mad, Len. Not because you're gay, I don't care about that. But because it's her. My best friend. It felt like a betrayal." I swallow hard, tears prickling. "I know, Dad. I'm sorry." He shakes his head. "Don't be. I've seen you two together. A Pride at the house. You're happy. Really happy. And Claire, she's different with you. Lighter." He sighs, rubbing his neck. "I don't understand it, but I see it. And I want you to be happy." I'm crying now, the tears hot and fast. "You mean that?" He nods, pulling me into a hug, his arms strong and familiar. "You're my kid. Always will be." He pulls back, his eyes wet. "Just don't break each other's hearts, okay?" I laugh, shaky but real. "We'll try." He heads back to the garage and I stand there, the weight of his words settling over me like a warm blanket. It's not perfect, but it's enough. That night, Claire and I are at the lake, the same dock where we first kissed. The water's calm, reflecting the stars, and the air smells of pine and possibility. We're sitting close, her arm around me, my head on her shoulder. The silence is comfortable, broken only by the soft lapping of waves and the distant hoot of an owl. "I was thinking," she says, her voice low, "about what you said. About leaving." She pauses, her fingers tracing patterns on my arm. "If it gets too hard here, we could go. Somewhere new. Columbus, maybe. Or further." I turn to her, surprised. "You'd leave? Your job, your life here?" She smiles, small but sure. My life's with you, Len. The rest is just details. My heart swells and I kiss her, fierce and full of promise. The town, the gossip, the fear. It's still there, but it's smaller now, overshadowed by her. By us. We stay there until dawn, talking about the future. Her teaching me to drive her truck. Me dragging her to art galleries, building a life that's ours. When the sun rises, painting the lake gold, I feel it. Hope. Not just for us, but for me. For the woman I'm becoming, the love I'm claiming, the family we're mending. Claire stands, pulling me up with her. Come on, she says, her eyes bright. Let's get breakfast. My treat. I laugh, following her to the truck, her hand warm in mine. The road ahead won't be easy. There'll be fights, whispers, moments of doubt. But as we drive into the sunrise, the wind carrying the scent of coffee and cedarwood, I know we'll face it together.